Why not? Good evening, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world. Well, just a few days ago, we had General Isaac van Zyl on this YouTube channel on a live stream, and he was saying that if the government expropriates land without compensation, that will be the trigger point for the Boers to take a stand. And I'm talking about take a stand. They won't let it happen. So what I'm reading today is basically the same thing, but by looting the pension funds. This is a shout out to Lynn and to Marlena, who brought this to my attention. And what it is the statement by the Minister of Trade and Industry, Ebrahim Patel. Patel said this week that pension funds have a role to play in the development of South Africa through investment in real assets. His comments come after the African National Congress made a commitment earlier this year to investigate introducing prescribed assets or a program that would force pension funds to invest some of their holdings into government-approved projects. The IRR has long warned that the government intends seizing private pension funds to plug government spending gaps. Patel's remarks follow statements last week by the ANC and South African Communist Party that the South African Reserve Bank should be nationalised to enable the government to introduce a program of quantitative easing, which translates loosely into printing money to finance government expenditure. The result would be a massive inflation that would erode the value of the rand-denominated savings in South Africa. The sentiments of the ANC and the Department of Trade and Industry are in line with the government's commitment to begin seizing land and other assets without compensation. Now, this is where it gets really, we're talking about the trigger point. If the government does go ahead and demand that pension funds in South Africa, which are largely the pension funds of white people who've saved all their lives, put their money into this pension fund for their retirement, if the government goes ahead and makes the pension funds put money into government state-owned enterprises like South African Airways and Eskom and all these other failing SOEs, that is theft, because they know they're going to be looted like they have been in the past, and what they're going to do is they're basically going to be passing that pension money from the hands of people who spent their lives saving and they want their retirement to be an easy one. They're going to take that money and give it to a state-owned enterprise, and from there you're going to have the same corruption, and that money just goes gone. And it's gone. So basically they're going to be stealing from pension funds, passing the money over to government enterprises and stealing it from there. It's called a transfer of wealth into the hands of the very well connected, and they never ever get charged, as we've seen in the past. The government is also set to proceed with an amendment to the Constitution to dilute property right protections, which, with the expropriation bill, will allow it to seize virtually any assets without compensation. Yes, that includes the gold rings on your hands, the cars, the money in your bank, your house, your furniture, whatever they want, they can just come in and take it. That's what it's talking about. IRR CEO Frans Cronje said, "The common thread running through all these actions is that the government is preparing to seize private wealth and assets without compensation. Its fiscal position is dire. Debt levels have doubled over a decade, and the budget deficit is back where it was at the end of apartheid. Put plainly, it is running out of money and is desperate. Further tax hikes are nearly impossible. Yet even at this dire point, the government refuses to introduce the liberalizing reforms required to grow the economy. It is also reluctant to accept foreign bailouts because of the conditions that would be attached." And we know that China is just knocking at the door, ready to swoop in. It is therefore preparing to turn on South Africans and the assets they hold in order to use those to finance government programs and policies, bail out parastatals and Eskom, pay salaries and finance tenders and BEE deals. Okay, you've got, in short, you've got a racist economy which is based on BEE, which and the BEE policy is targeted against minority groups like the whites. And what they're doing, on the other hand, is they are looting from the whites' pension funds. Now, that to me is an act of plunder, and it's going to be very interesting to see how people react to this. I'm talking about people who are impacted by the decision of the government when they start looting the pension funds. Cronje said the proposed amendment to the Constitution and the expropriation bill will severely reduce the legal protection on offer to investors, businesses, families and individuals should their assets be taken. He warned, unfolding before our eyes is an act of plunder of private savings, wealth, investments and property, the consequences of which will be devastating if the government proceeds. Look, the bottom line, guys, is that if you got money in a South African pension fund and you're able to withdraw it and put it in an overseas pension fund, do it now. Do it now. Don't even think about wasting your time, because once they start putting their big fat hands into your pension and taking all that money, you're going to regret not having moved it offshore. All right, guys, please remember to subscribe to be kept informed. Ring the bell for the updates, and have a great evening. Bye for now.